Hi team, I hope you are doing great and working on the machine learning project that I am sharing in this playlist. So far, we developed our machine learning project using Python scripting language and tested it using PyTest module to be 100% sure that our application is error-free and robust enough for final deployment. Next, we also created our distributable file which can be installed in any system or a server so that end user can interact with it and can use it. So next what? Next is about creating the virtual machine and testing your application in a virtual machine so that we can be sure that our application will run smoothly in any other system apart from my system in which it is being developed. And next we'll publish it on the GitHub and we'll make it globally available. Anyone can install it from GitHub and can use it. Third, we will publish it on PyPy. PyPy is Python index repository. It's an open source repository which is used to share a library or a module developed by a developer. And from here, anyone can install the package or the module that is being created by them. Like suppose we created a loan application. So anyone can install it by running pip install loan app. And thereafter, this application will be available in their system. And thereafter, they can use it for final predictions or any kind of final deployment. So let's move ahead with the virtual machine creation. My name is Vipul and I'll be with you in this particular journey. So let's go ahead. Now, how can we create a virtual machine? To create virtual machine, there is a package, there is a module called virtual env that should be there into your system. So how do we install virtual env? We type over here Python m pip install virtual env. So this will install virtual env into your system, which will help you to create a virtual machine, isolated virtual machine to run and test any of your application. So let it be created, let it be installed, and then we create it. Once it installed, we can create by calling virtual env, and then we will just give it a name. Let's say ML package test. So this will be our virtual environment, right? Okay, so my virtual environment is created. All we need to activate it. So for activating it, we'll give the name of our virtual environment. Then we'll write over here scripts, and then we'll go do what? Activate. So it is being activated. Once it is activated, we'll move to the directory in which our project is created. So it is in the D drive and it is in packaging demo, right? And then over here we have all the folders, like we have a ML project in which our project exists. So we'll move to the ML project. Okay, and in the ML project we have our setup file. So first we will run the setup file. It will create our distributable file that can be easily installed into my system. So let's go step by step. First, trigger the setup file. So I'll trigger the setup file by using setup.py sdist. So this will create my setup file. If you want to check it, verify it, you can go to your development window, the VS Code, and if you see, we have a distribution file over here. Now I'll copy this distribution file from here and we'll try to install it into my system. So for the installation, I will get back to the same window and I'll run pip install this thing, the location that we just copied. Okay, this is your location. Okay, so I'll trigger it. Once I trigger it, it will automatically install all the dependencies that is required for my project, and then it will install my project. It will install my application. So my application loan app is installed. Now how to check if it is running or not? So I'll trigger Python and I will import over here loan app. Okay, now in the loan app we have a file called training pipeline. Training pipeline is a file which is important to trigger the training, and after the training our model will be created. So what we do, will import from loan app, import training pipeline. All right, and within the training pipeline, if you see, I'll show you. So this is our training pipeline, and to trigger training I need to execute perform training, right? So what we do, we'll trigger it, training pipeline dot perform training. So once I will trigger it, it will create the model that is required for prediction. So before going to trigger it, let's check if our model is already there or not. So in the train model, I have already a model. I'll delete this file. Okay. And then I will trigger it. So it is saying model is created. Now again, we'll check whether it is being created or not. So it's been created. Now we have to go for the prediction. And for prediction, we have already created a file called predict. And in the predict, we have a generate predictions. So this is the file that we are going to use for generating the predictions, right? So let's do this. But before generating the prediction, we also require a data on which we can make the prediction. So data I can use over here, test data. That would be equals to what? pd.read csv. But I require pandas as well. So import pandas as pd. Okay, then we'll do what? Test underscore data is equals to pd.read underscore csv, right? And then I'll give the location of our test file. So where is our test file existing? Let's copy the location. So in the dataset folder, this is your test file. I'll copy this location and I'll use it. So let's give the location over here. All right. Now, once I access it, it will access the data, but it is not accessing because I need to give the forward slash or I need to give over here R symbol. So let's give the R symbol. Now I accessed it. So this is my test data, right? I need to make a prediction on a single sample. So I'll just take a single sample over here, :1. Okay. On this sample, I'll make the prediction. For making up the prediction, I'll call predict dot generate predictions. Right? For test data index 1. And we'll check whether it is predicting or not. So it is showing some error. Predict is not defined because we may have to import predict. Okay, so what we'll do from loan app import predict. Okay, now model is loaded. Now I will call it predict.generate prediction. So it is predicting it. So this is the prediction made on test data. So once it make the prediction on a test data or a single sample of test data, we'll try to test, can he make the prediction on any input like this? That can be a user input, for example, gender, or this is about married or unmarried. This is number of dependents. This is about education. So I'll just copy this thing from here and I will take it over here and I'll define data is equals to, or you can say new data is equals to this thing. All right. And thereafter we'll try to make the predictions on it. Here I'll feed new data. It's working good. That means even if I give any other sample other than the defined value, that means if user wants to give their own sample, they can also give their own sample, can make any changes over here, for example. Okay, and then it will make the predictions on that. That means by taking the input from the user, we can easily make the predictions. Next, we work on the GitHub part where we publish our project on the GitHub, and from GitHub, we can easily download and install into our system and we can check whether it is working properly or not.